across the Illawarra, South Coast and Southern Highlands. This is Win News.
Tonight, a woman sentenced for defrauding a champion surf family of more than $1 million. What's in store for Wingecarribee Council under an administrator? And Hugh Jackman, the next mayor of Dapto? Good evening, I'm Bruce Roberts. Also tonight, LaTap Australia cancelled for a fourth time with our poor weather putting the brakes on the major cycling event. The former bookkeeper of pro surfer siblings Tyler, Owen and Michael Wright is spending her first night behind bars. The judge determining Shane Hatton abused the trust of the family over a 10-year period, embezzling more than $1.5 million.
Walking in to learn her fate, Shane Hatton held tightly onto her husband's hand as she took her final steps of freedom.
Miss Hatton, how are you feeling today about today's sentencing? Do you have anything to say to the Wright family?
The mother of two taking to the stand, describing the sick feeling she felt every time she transferred money from the Wrights' accounts into her own. She embezzled more than $1.5 million in almost 800 transactions over a 10-year period, caught out when Owen Wright noticed discrepancies in his bank statement. A week later, on the 28th of May 2020, she admitted her guilt, acknowledging in court today she did not know the extent of how much she stole, driven by her gambling addiction. Owen, Tyler, Michael and their parents falling victim to a woman they trusted.
In a victim impact statement, Owen Wright said he felt emotionally worn down by the experience, suffering from anger and anxiety. It has also had an impact on his professional surfing career. In 2015, he was considering retiring after injury, but felt he couldn't due to the money taken by Miss Hatton.
The court acknowledged she was remorseful and in remission for gambling, but was sentenced to 5 years and 6 months with a non-parole period of 3 years. Her family wiping away tears inside court.
How do you feel about today's sentencing? Do you have anything you want to say?
With more than $100,000 already repaid, Shane Hatton was ordered to pay a further $647,000 to the Wright family. Zoe Martin, Win News.
Wingecarribee Council Administrator Viv May is ready to tackle whatever comes over the next 2 years. His stay has been extended until 2024 after councillors were dismissed last week.
A short-term role turning into a full-time job. Viv May set to stay as Administrator of Wingecarribee Shire Council for another 2 years.
I said I'd see this through, and I will. It's not an easy role, and there's a lot on my shoulders, but residents can be absolutely assured that I'll be open, honest and transparent, but importantly I'll keep listening.
Tasked with getting council back into shape before new councillors step in.
The 2 years will not be wasted, and I will continue to do what I've been doing and working in a strong partnership with not only the General Manager but all staff in this organisation.
After years of dysfunction, he knows it's no simple task, but he's ready to reset. Over $700,000 already committed for strategic planning.
We've got to get the community back in control of what's happening up here because they've lost control.
Looking to make the development application process smoother for all.
It shouldn't be a fight against your neighbours and a battle against the council. The council should have clear and concise guidelines of what is and is not acceptable. But those guidelines have to be prepared in consultation with the people who live there.
And there's plans to make potholes a thing of the past.
Under the council's forward financial plan, over $500 million, and I say $500 million, over the next 10 years will be spent on new and renewed infrastructure.
Also making sure towns are in tip-top shape.
The council will be doing master plans for Mittagong, Barrel and Moss Vale, and we're doing DCPs. There's a lot of work going on at Robinson at the moment.
But if there's at least one thing he can do, it's to
leave an organisation that's prepared for an incoming elected body, that the residents are extremely proud of, that is respectful to the community, and which has consistent outcomes.
Cass Rogan, Win News.
Shovels will be hitting the ground this month to build a $4 million SES and RFS headquarters in Surf Beach. The new HQ will replace the Bateman's Bay SES facility destroyed in Black Summer and will be shared with Surf Beach Rural Fire Brigade. It's been designed to provide safe storage for vehicles and equipment, along with spaces for emergency response training and community programs. The building will also offer the latest in telecommunications. It will be constructed on council-owned land next to the Surf Beach Ambulance Station. It's famous for the Dapto dogs, but soon the town will be on the world map with some help from a Hollywood star. Hugh Jackman will provide the voice for the Mayor of Dapto in the new cartoon comedy Koala Man. Wynn's very own Daptonian Cass Rogan has the story.
Meet Kevin, the crime-fighting Koala Man, on a quest to clean up his hometown, none other than Dapto.
What you're doing here is not on.
It has been in production now for about 13, 14 months, and we're producing 8 22-minute episodes.
Koala Man ready to fight the forces of evil, waiting to pounce on unsuspecting Daptonians. The comedy created by Illawarra filmmaker Michael Cusack.
And it really is Michael Cusack's sort of love story to his hometown.
I think it would be great. Yeah, Dapto could really use something like that.
I think it's great that a bit of Dapto can be shown.
Quite exciting, you know, a world-famous cartoon in a small town like this.
Watchers may recognise some of Cusack's previous characters and even some local icons.
The main town, the council chambers and Dapto High School.
Award-winning actor Hugh Jackman adding some star power to the show. The boy from Oz becoming Big Greg, the Mayor of Dapto.
I had the time of my life being in this series. I think it is really brilliant.
While you won't see Koala Man jumping out of trees in real life, what Daptonians would like to see is the real Hugh Jackman coming to pay a visit to their town.
Yeah, I think you should, yeah.
Welcome. Yeah, welcome.
We'll show you around, we'll give you a tour. It's a pretty great place.
What do you think Hugh Jackman could see while he's here in Dapto?
Probably my restaurant.
Would you shout him a free dinner?
Hell yeah.
I would love Hugh Jackman to come to Wollongong and experience firsthand the delights of Dapto.
The show will grace screens later this year. Cass Rogan, Win News.
Viral fragments of foot and mouth disease have been detected in meat products in a Melbourne supermarket. The federal government will now install disinfectant mats at airports to prevent the virus further entering Australia, but says everyone has a role to play.
Australia's biosecurity battles ramping up after viral fragments of foot and mouth disease and African swine fever were detected in supermarket products. Dairy farmer Ben Govett says it brings the threat to the forefront.
To the wider farming community, I think the devastation would be fairly immense to whatever areas are hit.
The highly contagious viral disease affects cattle, sheep, goats and pigs. It's spread through food, air and contact between animals. The federal government estimates a major outbreak could cost $80 billion and halt the nation's export industry. As part of an expanded suite of biosecurity measures, the federal government will now install disinfectant mats at airports.
In addition to that, we have profiled everyone that returns from Indonesia.
But the government says everyone in Australia has a part to play.
So whether they're ordering items from overseas through the mail, to make sure that they're not ordering prohibited food items.
While sanitised foot mats have now been introduced at international airports for flights from Indonesia, farmers say this should have been done weeks ago and more biosecurity measures need to be introduced.
I know that's a burden, but less of a burden than actually disease coming in the country.
Grace Aiken, Win News.
Coming up next on Win News, cattle prices in free fall, what it means for supermarket meat prices, and a first look at the bespoke uniforms for the UCI volunteers.